parked right down on the eastern part of the circuit. You can see the control tower there in the background.
You ever just come in the shed and you're like, I should do something and, you know, fix something up? Well, we might as well get started. Damn it! I actually said to myself a couple nights ago, I'm not going to race next year. And then I woke up the next day and I thought, yes, you are. Today, we better look at what we have to do before 2025. Now, here's one reminiscent of the XL Enduro from my car. This was jet driving. Look at the rim right here where there should be air coming out. But for some reason, this thing's still holding air. Now, my car's not here. We've got a special event coming up called the XL Garage Star Search, where one lucky kid, well, not lucky, one talented kid gets to get a fun to drive in the XL series. So I'm giving my car out to Mish to use for that. And it's totally fine doing XLs. I mean, here's the thing. If we make a jump to the 86 series, we're going to run out of money very quick. You know, XLs are still freaking cheap. I do see a lot of kids, like, you know, without their parents' help, they go out and they'll buy a race car that's probably been out of their pocket to run and maintain. And it gets hard. I respect the efforts, but, you know, if something does go wrong, it's so hard to bounce back up unless you get the right sponsors. All right, XL fanatics, I want to give you a little bit of a brief of what's been going on. We have not touched this car this year. It's been sitting in the sun. It needs a lot of TLC. Just to explain the TLC that's needed, you should probably look at the tires to be aware. These, that is the front tires of this car. Because we have no real purpose for it, there's no need to touch it at the moment. This is a pain in my ass. My original XL race car, Lisa's now using this, and she's been in the car. She did the XL Enduro, and she also did the 4 hours at the Bend, which was the full GT circuit. And no joke, on the last lap, this car had an engine failure. The last lap.
This fellow pulls it. Oh no. Oh, I think the gearbox has let go with just 4 minutes left of the race.
It got a bit rough out there in the paddock. We're going to need another indicator, fender, definitely another fender as well for there, unless I can pull that out. But this one's me. There is metal shards on the dipstick and it smells metallic-y. It's actually lost, it's lost a bit of coolant. It's nothing horrible. Oh, that stinks. Metallic diarrhea. So there you go. We're just going to take this thing apart a little bit today. To everyone that's been racing in 2024, I hope it has been joyful. And as you guys know, XL indicators, they perish very quickly. So I've got a zip tie holding that in. I've done worse to this car. This fender has been waiting 5 years to be used. Quick spray and wipe does a really good job just to get off all the contaminants. So this car was my road car when I first started driving. I had the Subaru, then I brought this because the Subaru broke down. I paid 650 bucks. This car was in the Penegrin car park, which is the people that own the Shell V-Power Motorsport Park and Malala. This car was basically born to race. And $650 back in the day for an XL is cheap. Me! Ooh, did this survive? Ah, no! If you're wondering why these are so fragile, there's a little tab normally here. It's a very thin plastic tab that screws onto the headlight. These break so easily. You can give this a little nudge and they will just rip apart. There we go. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Everything is zip tied together. There we go. Actually, I can't fix that. That's bad.
Krispy Kreme is bringing green shells out Australia's police.
It's going to be a long process for this car, and I'm really looking forward to getting this thing running again. But let us know, guys, what you're doing to your race cars before the next season, and have a fantastic new year, because I am very excited to go back car racing soon. Thank you, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.